Welcome, Bram, and welcome, Arthur, and welcome to all of our listeners out there. We were just having a laugh before going, wouldn't it be good if people could listen to us before we actually went live? But maybe they shouldn't listen to us before we go live.
We should have the running credits, Kylie, when you get the bloopers.
Yeah, maybe we should do that. Actually, it's just live. We can't even cut them out, can we?
Yeah, right.
That's exactly right.
So welcome, Bram. Bram is...
You there?
Did that freeze?
There we go. We've got the bloopers running.
Sorry, you froze it.
Oh, did I? Thank you.
That's
Sorry.
Right. The blooper reel is running live, so go again.
Already started. Okay, I might have to close some apps. So Bram is a Belgian-born psychologist, but really now does a lot of work with sales teams and sales entrepreneurs, and really helps sales professionals to grow and profit and improve revenue and profit as well. So welcome, Bram. I love having you on the show with us. And Arthur Kalos is a entrepreneur in financial services. He's also a very successful financial planner. He's been in the industry for a long time and also runs his own dealer group. And I love having you on too, Arthur, because it's really important. We're both passionate about financial services, and I think it's really important just to have two different sides of the coin when we're talking about some of the things that we talk about here on a weekly basis.
Absolutely.
Today, I'm really keen to talk about stress management hacks during lockdown. And look, I'm in Brisbane, so we are absolutely fortunate to not be in lockdown, but nearly all of my clients are actually in Western Australia, South Australia, Victoria, or Sydney. And I found that when we first went into lockdown, I did about 14 months of leadership training, and we trained leaders around how to manage their teams, how to manage stress, how to manage themselves. And I feel like that cycle has come back really hard again right now with the lockdown that is in Sydney, the lockdown that's in Melbourne, and even the short lockdown that you guys had in South Australia. So I'm really keen to talk a little bit about what are some stress management hacks that not only we as financial service professionals, but also we, both Bram and I, having the background in psychology and coaching, can really share some of those tips. And we were laughing before we came on because Arthur went, I'm probably the worst person to ask about this. So what I've asked Arthur to share with us is a little bit about what not to do as opposed to what to do. But I'm going to pass you over to Bram. Bram, tell us some stress management hacks, and then we'll move over to Arthur, and I'd love to share some too myself.
Beautiful. I'll touch on three, Kylie. So there's one of them that I'd really like to share with people when you're in a moment when you're about to blow up or things are going to hit the fan. Then there's also two of them that I'm going to help you with in terms of what people can do on a day-to-day basis at a particular time of the day, kind of as a preventative measurement, right? So those are the three. First one is there's a 3-step rule that says if you really look after your breathing in a moment when you feel that your hot button is being pressed, something is going really south and you start boiling, you do basically a 3-step process that is all along with your way you breathe. One is you focus on your breathing in after you've actually taken a step back, like literally you make your body either in your chair or when you're standing, take a step back just to kind of tell yourself and your body, hey, I'm applying this little technique here. Then you focus 6 counts in through your nose. And then while you do that, you think about the fact that you're actually taking fresh energy to replenish your mechanism. And then when you're ready after the 6 counts in through the nose, you then exhale 9 counts out through the mouth. Now, imagine now what you're just doing there. You're basically saying time out to your stress device because you focused your attention elsewhere. And the beautiful thing of our mind is it can only focus on one thing at a time in a way. Maybe women are different.
Girls can do more than that. Sorry.
Yeah, okay, well, there you go. Women might be an exception. There's a lot of financial planners there that are male, just like me and Arthur. So you take a physical step back, you do 6 counts in, and think of replenishing your mechanism. And then when you exhale 9 counts out through the mouth, this time is when you say, I'm letting go of all of my stress and worries. And you think about like just kind of leaving your body with your breathing. Now, if you just do that, you're basically like shortcutting the typical reactive mode that our body engages in when it feels threatened. The stress mode or the fight, flight, freeze, survival mechanism, all that sort of stuff gets triggered. You're basically saying, no, I don't want this. So that's my first one, when you're caught up in a moment. Now, preventatively speaking, there's 2 things that I think is so valuable really to do, which is morning meditation for 10 minutes straight, where you basically do the same things with your breathing, and you even visualize how your day is going to flow, and more importantly, what you're grateful for, and what you what your outcomes are going to be, and that you again are grateful for. And then the last thing that I want to share with you is keeping a gratitude journal. Now, this journal you could do at the end of the day before going to bed, which means when you're going into a gratitude mode, you actually sleep better. When you sleep better, you feel better rested. You got more energy the next day. So you're also more resilient. You can, bounce out of setbacks a bit more easily. And so all of this sort of stuff happens just by fostering an attitude of gratitude. And it starts with counting your blessings on a daily basis. Now, I know people, for example, that have a gratitude journal and basically write through it throughout the day in it. That's great. So you keep it handy. And it's not on a computer. It needs to be handwritten. All right. So that's basically my 3 tips there, guys. First one is check out your breathing in the moment when you're caught in stress. Second one is do your morning meditation. Third is keep an attitude thankful journey with gratitude, and that in itself will help a lot.
Yeah, I love those tips. I got a new watch. I got a new Apple Watch the other day, and it actually has a couple of times a day. I don't know whether or not there's a set time, whether or not it can feel my heart racing or whatever, I don't know. But it comes up with a moment to breathe. And it's just that 1 minute, and it just wants you to stop and breathe for 1 minute. And I love that there's that reminder, because sometimes we get so caught up in the moment that we actually forget to do that.
So true.
And your third point around gratitude, every single night when we sit down at the dinner table together, we each go through one thing that we're grateful for. And I'm trying to really bring up with my children how important it is to be grateful for even the littlest things.
Exactly. So it's a great habit, actually. I like how you do that with your kids. Good on you, Carly.
Yeah, I love it. Arthur.
Oh, no.
What should we do?
Well, I think...
what do you do around the dinner table, Arthur?
Well, some great tips and Graham, absolutely. I'm such a bad offender in this space. I mean, I think the points around the breathing is very important. I mean, even I had a bit of a blow up with a meeting the other day. Yesterday, and I think when the conversation can go hard and fast, you might find it difficult to take that many counts, because people will be waiting for your response for like 10 seconds. But look, I think the breathing concept, it does make sense. I mean, these are such effective strategies, and it's just discipline at the end of the day to put them in place. I mean, I'm going to take that away for sure. I think the gratitude point and the family conversations and feeling good at home. And one particular quote from a particular actress I read recently was really centered about that, is around you're as happy as you are at home. And so if you're happy at home, and you have those those exchanges with your children and so forth, it is a really enlightening feeling. You feel lighter. Your perspective changes. It's so true. It's just a matter of making it a religious, repetitive kind of activity. But that really stood out to me recently. You're only as happy as you are at home. So everything comes from that. Yeah. In terms of my misdemeanors regularly as a self-confessed workaholic, my days blend into one. This morning I woke up at 4 a.m., tossed around for a little while and just, stuff it. I'm getting up at 5 and went to work, So, and that happens regularly. It's probably not that I'm not doing any meditation or breathing or anything like that before I go to bed. There's probably little techniques that would help there. But I think the ones that I actually implemented. So look, yeah, I'm an offender, repetitive offender. I probably don't stick to those, those habits, and definitely need to work on it. Everyone's probably seen, or a lot of you has probably seen that documentary, The Social Dilemma, and that's a really frightening and awakening documentary where it just really highlights the Apple Watch, as you say, Kylie, for its positives. There's also the notifications that pop up on your arm every 5 minutes that probably add to the stress. And I've actually, that's one thing I really took away from that show is actually go into my settings. As technology as great as it is, it does force and consume your headspace and unnecessary, overflow or over saturation of data and information. So that's one thing I did do, after that documentary, is adjust my notifications, make sure that the apps that I want to tell me things are on. You don't need to have 5 sources of media telling you news. You don't need Apple News. You don't need FinReview. If you've got subscriptions, just choose one trusted source of news to give you the updates so you're in touch with what's going on, and just manage your notifications so you don't have every app that you've got access to, pushing you a message every time that something comes through. Because before, if you really think about it, we're probably on about at least half a dozen social media platforms, whether it's WhatsApp or Facebook or Messenger, and let alone emails, right? So I think that's one. If anyone's not doing that, I think that's the number one thing that everyone needs to do is reduce the amount of noise coming into your space.
Yeah, I love that. I'm going to share a model, and it's a model I've been using for, I don't know, over 10 years with leaders. And I want everyone that's listening to actually get a pen and a piece of paper and to write these 4 letters down. Good. Okay.
Ready.
It's called MENS. M, or your phone. Yeah. MENS. So MENS. Okay. M is for meditation or mindfulness. Okay. Every single day, what are you doing to slow your mind down? Okay, so we've talked a little bit about what you've just said, Brahm, is that meditation or that breathing. Okay, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's sitting under a tree outside. Okay, that meditation, that mindfulness. E is for exercise. We need to move our body. It is absolutely critical that we are moving our body. It doesn't matter whether it's a 20-minute walk around the block or whether or not it's a high-intensity workout, but we have to be moving our body. We get amazing endorphins and serotonin and dopamine all from that, which just give us this amazing feeling of goodness, N is for nutrition. Okay, what we fuel our body with today drives our body tomorrow. Okay, and I've always said this, but I remember actually you, Brahm, popping something on Facebook a little while ago going, I didn't do my best run, and someone said, why not? What happened? Have you been over exercising or something? And you went, no, it was the pancakes that I had the night before.
Guilty as charged.
Or the breakfast. I don't know what it was, but you had eaten Indian or eaten a meal the night before, and therefore it didn't fuel your body. So that nutrition, and it's something that I'm always really try to be mindful of with my children as well as myself. What am I fueling today to drive tomorrow? And the S stands for sleep.
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 Sleep. Arthur. Sleep.
What does that mean?
Sleep. So, I'm not going to sit here and go, you need 8 hours sleep, okay? Because I don't need 8 hours sleep. I'm really good on 7 hours, okay? But find what works for you and make sure you've got a beautiful sleep routine. It's consistent. It happens on a regular basis. The room temperature, the environment, all of those types of things. Some meditation, exercise, nutrition, and sleep. And often when I'm coaching leaders or coaching in general, and people might tell me they're overwhelmed or they're stressed or they're pressured or they're starting to feel sick, often it's one of those 4 areas that they're not focusing on that's driving some of those feelings down or driving some of those energy levels down. Another little hack that I do is every single month in my phone, I have a pop-up that comes up and says, how is my body talking? Okay, because I'm like you, Arthur. I will work and work and work, morning right through to night, whenever I can. I love it. I love what I do. And I know you do too, Brahm. So I often will work for as long as I can. And I don't mind if it's on the weekend or if it's during the week. But what I do every single month is I stop and just listen to my body. And I'm like, how am I really feeling? Am I tired? Am I exercising enough? Am I eating the right food? Am I getting the right sleep? Am I making sure that I'm meditating or taking that time for mindfulness? So to me, it's just that moment where I stop and I just reflect. And it really only takes me a couple of minutes, because I can pretty much often go, oh, I've dropped my exercise a bit. Or actually, that chocolate in the fridge every night's not doing me any good.
Come on, especially if it's a Belgian one. Come on.
It's not before a 21K run.
No, no.
One is fine.
So I think it really comes down to a little bit around, being mindful or being self-aware and really listening to you and your body and what is it trying to tell you. And when we listen, we can actually start to take action from that. And some of those actions have been the points that you're saying, Arthur and Brahm. Don't have multiple sources of just information pushing you through. Know when it's time to stop and start again.
And look, it's so true, Kylie, what you're saying. I think that the biggest challenge that most people might face nowadays, though, is that they feel they have to do the other stuff. And so they will actually put the stuff, like you said, the meditation, the mindfulness, the exercise, the nutrition, the sleep, they put that on a back burner. And that's probably where people really make a big mistake. Because as soon as you give up on that, you're basically saying no to yourself and yes to something else. And then you're just sliding down a vicious spiral that is not really designed to help you in any shape or form.
Yeah, yeah.
I probably did lie a little bit. I do a number of those things. I mean, my exercise, I train 5 days a week. I've got a good diet and my nutrition is good. I'm a lark, like sleep-wise. My best performing hours I've worked out are actually in the morning between 6 and 8. Like that's when I'm most effective. I get to work early. I put the music on. I'm in my own environment. So essentially that is like a bit of my own mindfulness and my own time to escape and just think and set my day up. So I've probably got these habits, and I jokingly say I'm probably the worst. I mean, I can always do better. But I've typed these notes down, and I think it's just habit, isn't it? Like, how do you break and make a new habit, especially when you're at home? So maybe some simple things like Zooming someone at the same time. You meditate with someone on Zoom, put on some music in the background, block out some time with a mate and actually do some meditation together on Zoom. If you're at home, do some exercise together, like, do some stuff in the home. I mean, there's the technology that can bridge those gaps, but I think it's important to partner up. And when you get back to the office, fortunately we have here in Victoria, is actually, from a workplace perspective, actually making sure that, one thing that really I get with, staff is, eating at their desks. Yeah. Apart from the spill a soda on your laptop and all that kind of stuff, the point is actually take a break. Like,
take a break, yeah.
Don't have to work while you eat. Like, physically get up, go for a walk and then sit down in the lunch area, have a meal, and then get back at it. Because I just find that the intensity wavers, because you're kind of like idling through whilst you're eating. You're kind of not really getting into it. You're not really going full steam ahead. And that's over a long period of time is you're not very effective. You're better off just going, go hard for a couple of hours, take your break, unwind, relax, and get back at it. So just things like that.
Definitely.
Yeah, I like that. And I think probably I just want to finish on one extra point, and I can't stress this enough. If people are feeling stressed or overwhelmed or pressure or less connected, because of this lockdown and because of everything that's going on, reach out, get some support. There are so many people out there that can support them. You know, there's Lifeline out there that can talk through this sort of stuff. Even there's the Parents Helpline as well, especially for the amount of people that are doing homeschooling. There's coaches out there, there's friends, there's family. I think that most important step is, you know, when we're going through something as intense as this, we need to be able to reach out and talk to people and let people know. And I even say that for myself. You know, I had a coaching session this morning with my coach, and we talked about some of those feelings as well. So it doesn't matter what position you have. It doesn't matter whether or not you run a company or whether or not you work in a company. Everyone goes through stress. So please reach out to people that you can and talk to people, because you're not alone.
Maybe in conclusion, Kylie, could you just remind everybody also that we have a webinar upcoming that we would love for people to join?
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for reminding me. 3rd of August, we are running a webinar at 12 p.m. And this webinar is really focused towards financial planners. And we're going to be sharing what we believe are the 3 fundamentals for growth for financial planners. And we're seeing a lot of financial planners go up. We're also seeing a lot of financial planners go down. And we're also going to see a lot of financial planners go out of the industry. What we're going to be sharing with financial planners that are really looking to scale and grow and increase their profit and revenue, come along, join our webinar. It runs for 1 hour. We'll pop a link into the chat bar. We would love to see you there. And we're going to be sharing some real key fundamentals during this webinar as well. So thanks for reminding me, Brahm. And as always, thank you so much for coming on and sharing these lives with me. I really enjoy it. So thank you. Have a great day. And thanks everyone for listening.
Thanks, Kylie. Thanks, Bram. See you guys.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day. Cheers.
Cheers.